I'd like to call the October 21st, 2019 Wilson School Board meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Case?
Here. Here.
Mr. Hart?
Lovely headphones.
Mr. Hopp?
Here.
Dr. Kennedy? Here. Mrs. Cocker?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Negrini?
Here.
Mr. Wolf? That's 8 present, 1 absent.
Please stand for the posting of the colors.
March. Forward. March. Mark time. March. Colors. Halt. Left. Face. Sir, request permission to post colors. Post colors. Present arms. Order. Arms. Reverse colors. March. Right. Face. Mark time. March. Forward. March.
Mr. Maravich?
There's two opportunities for the public to address the board. The first is on agenda items, which is immediately before the agenda. Second is on non-agenda items, which is at the end of the meeting. Pursuant to board policy and the Sunshine Law, it is a 3-minute opportunity to provide the board with matters that are or may come before it. My understanding, there is none.
Correct. Okay, under communications tonight, we have Ms. Allison Irwin, the high school reading strategies teacher, who will be sharing her experiences with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration from the summer. So if you'd like to please come up and there you go.
Yeah, thank you. There we go. Thank you. So I am speaking for myself today to tell you something kind of exciting that I got to do over the summer, but I also wanted you to come with the idea that I'm speaking for a lot of our teachers because our teachers have very diverse backgrounds here at Wilson. To share some things about my background, I started off as an English teacher. And I got my first, my bachelor's at Shippensburg University. I went on to get a master's in reading instruction at University of Pennsylvania. I'm currently going for my double master's. If you talk to other teachers in our district, you're going to get similar stories. I know other teachers with double masters. I know teachers with doctorates. We tend to be a group of people that love to learn. When you look at my STEM background, which is not often paired with literacy, I volunteer with an organization called the Civil Air Patrol, and I work as their deputy commander of cadet training schools. So in the winter, we spend a weekend with about 200 people, mostly students, working through a basic leadership program and 2 advanced schools. In the summers, we work with about 400 people and 5 different schools, including an advanced STEM academy. So again, both in the walls here and outside of the walls, I do a lot for our profession. And if you talk to any other teacher in our district, you're going to find a similar story. For professional development, at the state level, I work with the Pennsylvania Council of Teachers of English and Language Arts. I'm on their board, and I help to run annual conferences for teachers all across the state. And again, if you talk to our teachers, you will find a similar story. So please, you know, I'm happy to share my exciting story, but understand that a lot of teachers have similar stories. Know a Teacher at Sea is a program that you can apply for, and I was one of 19 people that got accepted this year out of about 350 applicants across the whole country. I got to spend 19 days on a ship out of Oregon, and we floated somewhat scarily over 2 miles worth of ocean, and we ended up down in San Francisco eventually. And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. It was all based on biology, based on fisheries. It was a coastal pelagic species survey. Most of those words I didn't understand before I went on the ship. And it was nice because I work with students who really struggle with reading. They're typically at least 2 or 3 grade levels below reading level. And to be able to talk to them about words that I struggle with and concepts that I struggle with and learning that is hard for me helps me to build rapport with them. So it was enjoyable for that reason. I also really loved the food. We had one of the best chefs in the whole NOAA fleet. There's about 16 to 20 different ships that NOAA uses, and I definitely got the best chef. That image over to the right, the cute little octopus, that was a baby octopus no bigger than the knuckle of my thumb. And he was beautiful. And his little chromatophores, which are all those little dots, ended up sparkling, and they get really bright and they change colors. That was a really neat experience when we caught him. The sunsets were beautiful, memorable. And that little thing up in the left is called an otolith. It's actually, if you look close enough, it almost has rings, like the rings of a tree. And the scientists can drill out those rings and study migration patterns, the age of the fish, whether it was starving during some years or really prosperous during some years. They can study numerous things about the fish based on that tiny little otolith, which is like an ear bone kind of inside of the cavity of its head. Some ways that I've been able to bring this back to our community. One way is through talking with students, not just in my own classroom, but Kate Stuckert, one of our English teachers, invited me to come speak with her AP research students, and I got to explain to them real-world applications of both qualitative and quantitative research, which was really exciting. These were all research applications that I got to be involved in on the cruise with NOAA. In a professional setting, I've been invited to or have already participated in 3 different conferences and professional development sessions. I was invited to Philadelphia to talk with directors and some other folks out there about how to bridge STEM and literacy. I was able to talk at the Pectella conference about using something called GIS, which is, think of interactive mapping, like, where's the local Starbucks near me? But they're being used a lot in different career fields, so I got to bridge STEM and literacy that way. And I've also been invited to speak at the Invitational Summer Institute next summer, talking with teachers all across many different disciplines about how to incorporate writing and literacy into their classrooms. Part of this process involves blogging, and it involves lesson planning. So in order to qualify for the NOAA program, they don't pay for me to go with them for free. I have to do a lot of work as well. And one of the lesson plans that I developed for NOAA is actually something that I'm using in my classroom this week, and I just started it today. And so I'm talking to my students about text-dependent analysis, which is a very heavy sort of concept for some of my students, and I'm linking it back to what I said with GIS, with the interactive mapping, showing them that when you research and when you look for evidence, you don't just cite text evidence from newspaper articles or from web Google articles. You can look at interactive maps and diagrams and infographics and different types of technical texts to support your argument as well. When you look at how this reflects back on Wilson as a district, I was covered in the news for about 5 months already, all the way from June up until currently. You have Reading Eagle articles. I was spotlighted on WFMZ for a 50-second segment. That news article up in the right-hand side is actually with the Civil Air Patrol, and that's a national magazine that they put out twice a year. So it hasn't been released yet. I think it'll be released within the next week or 2. But that's a feature article in their national magazine, which I'm really excited about. And if you'll notice, if you choose to click on any of those at any point, all of them, I guess, they all mention Wilson School District. They all mention West Lawn. So it's not just my story, it becomes a Wilson story. And again, I think if you talk to our other teachers and the things that they're doing in their classrooms and beyond the walls, they try to connect it back to Wilson as well. This is an example of not the NOAA Teacher at Sea program, but a dog therapy program that I worked with my students last year, and some of the board members came out to support that. I wanted to show you this slide because it shows you that the things that we're passionate about as educators really do get reflected back with the students. The students in the upper box, all of the red boxes were 11th grade students that did not participate in that project, and the students in the bottom with all of the green, they were students that did participate. And when I'm passionate about something, and when the kids start getting passionate about that, and we all learn together, you can see in the data that it reflects positively upon their performance and their progress. I don't have data yet to show you anything from NOAA, but I thought this was similar. And finally, to leave it on a very positive note, I'm one of many, right? So you have teachers in your building right now working above and beyond, doing way more than you could ever pay us to do. We're planning mini-thon, career days at RAC, Jamaica Marine Studies, a wellness day program for our teachers. I left brochures over there for a 5K this weekend that's actually going to raise money for scholarships for our seniors, and I could go on and on. The idea here is that as a board, you have the power to really make us feel appreciated, and I think that when we feel appreciated, we do wonderful things, not because we're being paid to, but because we really love to be here. I know board members have emailed me to congratulate me on my double masters that I started. Board members have come out to events that I've done and participated with me in those events. That doesn't go unnoticed. I've had PTO members email me. I've had Education Foundation members email me. Those things, just those little emails to say, hey, great job. Hey, we're really looking at what you're doing. We really appreciate all the work you're doing for your students. That goes such a long way. And we do notice that. And I want to thank you for that, because it helps me to feel like I have an opportunity to go out and do really great things. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you for taking on that opportunity, and seems like it was very enjoyable and very rewarding. And a big thank you to all the teachers and all the support staff that make everything happen every day for our students. So thank you to everyone for all you do. We met in executive session tonight for litigation purposes and employment personnel matters. Need a motion to request a motion to approve the minutes for the October 7th, 2019 meeting. Mr. Martin? Mr. Hopp, second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the treasurer's report, investment report, and general fund financial reports. Mr. Martin?
Yeah, Excuse me, Mr. President, I submit for approval tonight the Treasury Report, the General Fund and Financial Reports, and Investment Report as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Mr. Ehrlich? Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
That's 8-4, 0 against.
Mr. Martin, payment of the bills?
Yes, I submit for approval of payment bills in the amount of $2,591,693.78 out of the General Fund, the Capital Reserve, $136,875.31, 2017 B Construction Fund, $98,550, and then 2019 A Construction Fund, $202,684.23.
Great, thank you. Second, Mrs. Cocker? Roll call?
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
That's 8-4, 0 against.
Mr. Martin, financial reports?
Yes, I submit for approval all for September, the cafeteria report, the child care report, the Southern Middle School account, and the West Middle School, and the senior high.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Mr. Ehrlich? Roll call?
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Mr. Trickett, could you please go over the superintendent's report this evening?
Yes, Mr. Hart, I present to you today for approval the superintendent's report, inclusive of items 6.1 through 6.7, which includes the appointment of Kim Schaefer, who is a Wilson High School graduate and daughter of one of our teachers, as a substitute under item 6.7.
Great, thank you. Can I have a motion for 6.1 through 6.7? Mr. Ehrlich, second, Mr. Case. Roll call?
Mr. Hoff?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Mr. Hart, I also submit to the board for their consideration item 6.9, coaching positions and advisor pay.
Thank you. Can I have a motion? Mr. Ehrlich, second. Mrs. Cocker. Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Abstain.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
That's 7-4, 0 against, 1 abstaining.
And item 6.10, we are going to take that off the agenda for this evening for further discussion, and we will bring it back in the future. Number 7, approval and ratification of the New York Business District trip for the FBLA. A voice vote. Can I have a first motion? Mr. Hop, second. Dr. Kennedy. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Under 8.1, donations from the Sun Federal Credit Union, a check in the amount of $1,500 to be used for the opening day breakfast. Can I have this will be a voice vote. Can I have a motion? Mr. Case, thank you. Second, Mrs. Cocker. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Under Human Resources, 9.1, request approval of the new job description for the auditorium technical support. 9.2, request approval of mentors. Can I have a motion to accept 9.1 and 9.2? Mrs. Cocker? Mr. Ehrlich, second, thank you. Roll call?
Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mrs. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Student Services, 10.1, request permission of assignment within the district, making an exception to policy 206 for a Wilson West Middle School student. Can I have a motion, please? Mr. Case, second, Mr. Martin. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin? Yes. Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Under Operations, 11.1, requesting approval of the change order to the Lower House roofing project, which is an increase of $4,800. Can I have a motion for that, please? Dr. Kennedy, thank you. Mr. Hop, second, thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Under Finance, 12.1, in accordance with the Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement Number 54, the Board approves a transfer of $500,000 to the Capital Reserve Fund as of June 30th, 2019, and commits the remaining excess of revenues over expenditures from 2018-19 in the General Fund for future PSERS employment contributions. And 12.2, request approval of the budget transfers dated from July 1st, 2019 through October 16th, 2019. Can I have a motion, please? Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Mr. Negrini, thank you for a second. Roll call?
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Under Transportation, 13.1, request permission to award the bid for the purchase of 2 9-passenger gasoline school vans to Whitmoyer Auto Group. This is a total cost of $61,500 and will be purchased using funds from the General Obligation Bond Series 2019A. Can I please have a motion, please? Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Mr. Hop, Mr. Case, thank you for the second. We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Okay. Committee reports. BCTC, Mr. Case.
Yes, the BCTC has not had a meeting since our last school board meeting, so our next meeting is at the East Campus on Wednesday, this Wednesday.
Great, thank you. 15.2, the BCIU. Dr. Kennedy?
Weird. I was unable to attend the BCIU meeting on Thursday because of the rescheduled West Lawn Halloween Parade. But I did see that they gave a really nice shout out in their newsletter to our Anna Ackley again for her White Cane Day, which is really fantastic for the district. And at our last curriculum meeting, we met in Dr. Stout's office. It was Dr. Stout, Mr. Dillon, Mr. Hart, and I. We talked about looking at again through relooking at our curriculum through the whole child, which was really exciting. I'm struggling because I got the bum computer this time, so I can't read my notes off it. So this is all from my memory. So feel free to jump in. We talked about there's several departments, including music and languages, that are working on their curriculum, and they're all at different parts. We talked about the phys ed curriculum is going to get rewritten. At the end, Mr. Hart and I had a question about the two new classes that the BCIU is running, the pre-K counts and the Head Start in our Berkshire Heights building, and they're running really well right now. We're really proud to have them serving Wilson students that might not have been able to get preschool, which is something we're pretty excited about. Anything?
Just a note on that, I'm going to guesstimate it again because I don't have it in front of me, but we had a question from the board wondering how many of our students would be served, because it technically is opened up to the county since BCIU. And I'd say about 2/3 of the students are Wilson students. Is that about right? That's right. Which is really good. So we're being able to service our own community, and there is still room to grow in one of the classrooms. So great, thank you. Berks EIT representative, Mr. Schlossman, no report. Extracurricular, do we have any report?
Mr. Wolf was unable to attend, so he sent me his notes, and I added a couple things. For the current season, golf and girls tennis, their seasons are over. So congratulations to them. They have a little free time now. But the following sports are still very active. So boys cross country currently has a record of 12-3. Girls cross country has 14-1. Field hockey is 19-2, going strong. Football 8-1. Boys soccer 12-6-1. Girls soccer 17-4. Girls volleyball is the girls soccer 17-4. They are the BCIAA champions, so that's awesome. I'm not sure if that might be a good news. No. Okay, good. All right. Girls volleyball is currently 15-4, and they're playing in the BCIAA championship match tomorrow at YMSC at 7 p.m. if you want to catch that. And boys water polo 15-9, and girls water polo 12-5. The high school marching band is currently in 3rd place out of 30 groups in the Cavalcade of Bands Yankee Division. Along with that, there's a band and orchestra concert next Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. So if you're not trick-or-treating, check that out. Oh, no, that's the night before, isn't it? Okay. Take my kids out the night before. That would go well. So next Wednesday, 7 p.m. And also, tickets are currently on sale. And this Thursday through Saturday, the Wilson Theater Company is performing their performance of Clue. So check it out. I love the theater group. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
Facilities, Mr. Negrini.
Some good news and some not so good news. As far as previously ordered trucks and snow plows, those will be delivered prior to Thanksgiving. So we will be ready, hopefully not to use them at all, but in the chance that there is an early snowfall, we will have those things delivered prior to Thanksgiving. Regarding the PP&L work along Van Reed Road, that work is going to begin October 24th. The roadway is going to be closed in the evening from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., and then from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. it will be open, but there will be flaggers there. So we want to communicate that as early as possible to the community, as that may impact, obviously, getting students to and from school on time. So we will try to put that information out as well regarding that work to commence on the 24th. And our next facilities meeting will be on Tuesday, November 12th at 4:30 at the Operations Center.
Jay, just, so the 24th is Friday?
24th is Thursday.
Because we have obviously a home football game Friday. So is the road going to be closed like in the middle of the football game?
As well as the theater performance of Clue.
I mean, because if I heard correctly, the road gets closed at 8 o'clock. So that means that we'll have people being able to get in and then having no idea how to leave. So I would suggest that maybe we reach out with whoever's doing that and kind of come up with a game plan, having those people on campus, having all these people on campus in the middle of a transition of road open, now it's not, might create some
Well,
confusion.
PP&L has been for, the better part of the last couple of months, a good partner in the work that has to be done, and unfortunately, as a public utility company, we have, very little say over. However, Mr. Simcox has worked with them in the past. They did a good job of getting that work done around Dwight Street so that it didn't interfere too much with the beginning of the school year. So hopefully they'll be open to the idea of maybe pushing this off another day or two.
Just a thought, because,
Yeah.
I mean, if I read correctly, it's Dwight over to, which, I know Dwight Street is blocked, so in terms of getting, I mean, it's not that difficult if you're familiar with the area, but if you're not, might cause some people to not know what to do.
Fine.
And Jay, would you care to talk a little bit about changing the date for the public meeting for the feasibility study?
Yeah, that had been listed for a work session the middle of November. That's being put off, I think, at least until January at this point. I know Dr. Fadley and some administrators are still working with Crabtree and Rohrbach so that it is as comprehensive of a work session as possible. But many of us are anxious to hear, the information that they have so that we can make some, informed decisions as far as future projects that might have to be done in the next, few years to decade as we plan ahead.
Thank you.
That's my report.
Thank you. Finance, Mr. Ehrlich.
No report.
Human Resources, no report. Legislative, Mr. Martin.
They're going to gear up next year because it's election year, so you're going to see a lot happening next year. You're going to see property tax reform. I guarantee there'll be property tax reform in some form because both parties want property tax reform. So that's coming. I'm not sure what format, but there'll be a compromise, so there will be a comprehensive plan put in place, especially because it's election year next year. And that's going to also include school security and charter schools. A lot of this stuff is going to really move forward next year because there's bipartisan support on almost everything. Because, as I said, but this year, there's only actually, after October, there's only 6 days left in the Senate for the rest of the year, and I think there's only 11 days left in the House. So it's going to be slim pickings.
Thank you. Public Relations, Mr. Troutman.
Good evening. Just to follow up, Mr. Negrini, to your comment, we did share on the district website in the Blitz about the PP&L information, so I can also post that on social media as well. That might get it a little bit more reach. And we will investigate if there's any additional information we need to communicate. We will certainly do that through district communications. But the website is updated as well as the Blitz with the information we've received to date from PP&L, just as an FYI. Just a couple of items. This past week, we celebrated National School Lunch Week, and our food services department worked for weeks to plan fun events for our students and staff around this year's theme of what's on your playlist. So some of the fun activities included lunchtime karaoke, which was really awesome, hula hoop contests, taste testing, and much more. We promoted food services department and their National School Lunch activities through district social media throughout the week. So they did a wonderful job, and the kids were having a blast at lunch. It was really fun to see. Just a note that this week is School Bus Safety Week, and a key part of the week is called Operation Safe Stop. Operation Safe Stop, which is hard to say in public, will occur this year on Wednesday, October 23rd, and is a proactive approach to educate the motoring public that passing a stopped school bus when children are loading or unloading is dangerous and illegal. Law enforcement agencies, school transportation providers, pupil transportation associations, and PennDOT have combined their efforts to raise public awareness about the potential consequences and reduce the occurrence of illegal school bus passes. So we as a district are going to be participating in this event this year by having our drivers document any illegal passes occurring on their routes during the day and working with local law enforcement to identify information regarding the vehicle and file it with local authorities. We'll also have additional law enforcement at various bus stops on that day to recognize Operation Safe Stop. So that's something that I believe we're participating in for the first time this year, which is great. Also, I wanted to reiterate, Dr. Kennedy already talked about this a little bit, but on Wednesday, October 16th, it was Wake Cane Day. This is a day set aside to celebrate the achievements of people who are blind or visually impaired and the important symbol of blindness and the tool of independence, which is the Wake Cane. We currently have 6 students in the Wilson School District that use the Wake Cane to travel. So on October 16th, we celebrated Wake Cane Day with a number of special events throughout the district. It was a great way to bring awareness to the day and celebrate these students for their achievements. And we really want to really thank Anna Ackley, who's the teacher of the visually impaired for the district, for leading this amazing day. It was truly an amazing day for our district. And we received some very nice media coverage for the events, including a lovely article in the Reading Eagle, as well as a wonderful story on PBS Channel 39 News. I believe I sent out the links in the board update. But we also posted those on social media if you haven't had a chance to look at those articles. They were fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Education Foundation, Mr. Case.
I just have a public service announcement for the Ed Foundation. About a month from now, there's going to be this great casino bash that the Ed Foundation is hosting. And that is on November 23rd, 2019. And there's going to be lots of fine spirit and food. It's for a great cause. So come on out, and they're honoring the 2019 Legacy Award winner, Mr. John Doc Moyer. So come on out and get your tickets. They're on sale. And come and celebrate with the Ed Foundations for a good cause. So
Great.
get your tickets.
Thank you. Technology, Mrs. Cocker. All right. Student Outreach, Ms. Carolyn Patoric.
Hello. 2 Fridays ago, we had our annual Pink Out game, and it could not have been more of a success. All the money we raised through shirts, canning, and bake sales is going towards the Breast Cancer Foundation. We also had an amazing turnout for the sale of our first fall formal tickets, with the tickets selling out on the second day. Last Thursday, our marching band and JROTC embraced community spirit and participated in the West Lawn annual Halloween parade. And Student Gov also helped out with the Shiloh Hills first trunk or treat last Friday, where we ran games and gave out candy to the kids that are dressed up. This week, Wilson Theater Company will be holding their first show of the year, Clue on Stage, and they will be performing it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'd also like to add that the Wilson water polo team, the boys, have their state championship tournament on Friday and Saturday, and it's at the Snyder Natatorium, so you can come out. It's really easy to go to, but it'll probably add to the confusion of the road. Yeah, but yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I understand under Student Outreach, Mr. Russo is here tonight. Is he still out there? Welcome back. Did it? I heard your hair got longer. Welcome back. And Solicitor, Mr. Maravich.
Surprised Mike didn't mention this. Wednesday, Pennsylvania Economy League on the financial status of school districts. It's a study, I believe, being presented that Temple University had put together. That this is their event. The Pennsylvania Economy League events usually at the Berkshire, 7:30 in the morning. It's open to the public, right? You just pay $20 for breakfast. It's now $20 for breakfast, but so it's about an hour and a half of presentation on at least to take. And if I understand correctly, the study covers all 500, but they'll concentrate in the Berks County districts for Wednesday. Unfortunately, I have a Red Cross board meeting at the same time, so I won't be there. But I don't know if traditionally a couple board members go, so that's it.
Great, thank you. Do any of the members have other board business? All right, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Mr. Hop, meeting is adjourned.